Welcome to the Ultimate Gaming Realm, and this is your curator, Dixon, logging on. Here's a game that I've been dying to do for a Halloween special. A Halloween special for all ages. Costume Quest. Costume Quest is a game that shows a true Halloween spirit. A Halloween story involving kids in the neighborhood or at the mall and etc. dressed in costumes, going door to door trick-or-treating for candy. Costume Quest was released digitally on October 19, 2010 for multiple platforms. I'm playing the Steam version. Costume Quest was developed and published by Double Fine Productions. Double Fine Productions were the same geniuses behind the works of Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, the remasters of LucasArts games from the 90s, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, and Grim Fandango. Which reminds me in a way, Grim Fandango should be another appropriate subject for Halloween. And which also reminds me, Tim Schafer, the founder of Double Fine Production, was an ex-employee from LucasArts, before he founded Double Fine Productions. I have always been impressed with Tim Schafer's work. I just need to get caught up into it. But at least Halloween month is here, and now it's time to break it down with a modern masterpiece from the brilliant mind of Tim Schafer. Costume Quest. At least I'm getting caught up with that one. At the beginning of the game, you have an option on which one of the two siblings to choose from. Brother or sister, Reynold or Ren. The brother and sister don't always get along, and their parents are making them go trick-or-treating to have fun and make new friends in the neighborhood. Or if they don't get along, they're grounded. Regardless on who you choose between the two siblings, the chosen one is most likely the leader. The chosen sibling will start out with a robot costume, and the other sibling will be dressed up as a piece of candy corn. Costume Quest is likely a trick-or-treat simulator, until you trick-or-treat at the wrong door. After knocking on the first door of the chosen one, the costumes, which I'm assuming that's actually her sister or brother or whoever wears the candy corn costume, you get turned down. But after the other sibling knocks on the second door, a monster with a sweet tooth sees the candy corn costume sibling and kidnaps that sibling and throws him or her over the gate. So the main character must save his or her sibling in time and be home before curfew. After a monster throws the sibling over the gate, this trick-or-treat simulator turns into a turn-based quick-time RPG battle. Between the Chosen One and the monster, the Chosen One wearing a robot costume transforms into a real mechanized robot. And after you defeat the monster, you earn XP points and some candy. So Costume Quest can be a trick-or-treat simulator, a sandbox, and a tactical turn-based battle. A rescue mission may be the main quest, which does require upgrading around the main character and the faction on the way. But since the two siblings don't get along too much, I believe the main sibling is in no hurry anyway. As long as they get home before curfew, that is. And this is where most of the small sandbox fun comes into. It's a free roaming adventure where you can talk to people and find quests to get more XP and candy. Oh, and by the way, in Costume Quest, candy represents currency. You earn candy in all sorts of ways, like doing tasks, completing battles, or in odd places after punching mailboxes or garbage cans or followays or pumpkins and etc. And of course, from trick-or-treating. The robot costume is most certainly not the only costume in the game. They didn't call this game Costume Quest for nothing. There's all sorts of costumes that can be unlocked throughout the game. And each one of these costumes has its own specialty. Now, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason on how the kids get powers of using those costumes and transforming themselves into huge superheroes against your rivals. But whatever, it's still awesome. You can also buy special perks for your characters to get the advantage on those candy-crazed monsters. Which those candy-crazed monsters are known as grubbins. There's mini-game challenges like apple bombing, where you can earn XP, candy, and these trading cards known as creepy treats. And you can also earn creepy treats in some battles too. You will also come across recruiting 2 members to your party. And they are definitely helpful to your quest. Throughout most of the game, and as part of the progress to get through the story, is trick-or-treating from door to door. Some doors have normal people giving out candy, and some doors have grubbins trying to steal your candy. Because these grubbins also know that candy represents currency too. That explains why they are candy crazed. So like the first time, you have to fight against these grubbins, and after you defeat them, you will accomplish earnings, such as the usual candy, XP points, creepy treats. You will also find grubbins patrolling areas in some parts of the game, so if you bump into them, you'll have a battle with them. Of course, you have an option of backing out, but I have no reason to do that because I don't back down from anybody unless if I really have to. Besides, you can accomplish more by defeating them. And sometimes when you see a grubbin patrolling, you can sneak behind them and punch them, which again leads into another battle, except each grubbin in the group loses some points before the first move. Now these turn-based battles in Costume Quest are pretty neat and creative all around, but these battles can get repetitive after a while. Without giving much away, Costume Quest is such an adorable game. It feels like you're trick-or-treating, but at the same time, you're also living in a true fantasy world while you're in turn-based RPG combat. And I suggest that you give Costume Quest a try for yourself. 2 months later, after the release of Costume Quest, they added an expansion episode in the game. Grubbins on Ice. Costume Quest Grubbins on Ice was an expansion episode for the regular Costume Quest game, released on December 21st, 2010, a few days before Christmas. And Grubbins on Ice was set from after the event from the main game, in wintertime, which I'm guessing 2 to 3 months later, like in December or January. So it's most likely this expansion episode should be a part of my winter special, not Halloween. But surprisingly, Trick or Treat still exists in the Ice Realm in the winter. There are also 3 new costumes added to this episode, and that's simple enough for me to explain about the expansion pack without giving anything away. The Grubbins on Ice expansion is included with the main game. Now the verdict. Costume Quest is no shadow of a doubt one of the cutest games I've ever played. It has a small decent free roaming around each section of the game. The turn-based RPG is very creative, but like I said, the issue of that part can get tiresome at times. Costume Quest feels like a true trick-or-treat simulator, but at the same time, the imagination with whatever costume you're wearing when you're in a battle becomes a reality until the battle is finished. Costume Quest may not have any voice acting, but Costume Quest does have a cute RPG dialogue element when communicating with others. The story in Costume Quest is adorable and well said, but it's short, and that's one of the minor cons amongst other critics, is that the game is short. But to me, I have no problem with the game being short because I have tons of other things to do. Overall, Tim Schafer, as usual, put his mind to good use, and for a Halloween episode adventure, Costume Quest is indeed recommendable. Thank you all very much. This is Dixon of the Ultimate Gamer Realm wishing you all a happy Halloween. And now I'm logging off.